mandiri maupun bersama-sama Manggala Agni dan instansi terkait lainnya. Pengurangan potensi karhutla melalui pengembangan teknik penyiapan lahan tanpa bakar atau PLTB. Pemanfaatan limbah hasil pembersihan lahan menjadi produk yang berguna dan memiliki nilai ekonomi. Contohnya dengan membuat cuka kayu atau asap cair, kompos, dan briket arang. Pembentukan dan pelatihan Brigade Dal Karhutla di tingkat tapak, KPHP, KPHL, KPHK, dan unit usaha pemegang konsesi. Brigade Dal Karhutla yang dibentuk ini bertanggung jawab mulai dari pencegahan, penanggulangan, hingga penanganan pasca karhutla. Mewajibkan para pemegang izin usaha di bidang kehutanan untuk melengkapi sumber daya manusia, sarana, dan prasarana pengendalian karhutla, serta melaksanakan pengendalian karhutla yang menjadi tanggung jawabnya sesuai standar yang ditentukan. Mendukung dan terus mendorong anggaran untuk penggunaan upaya pengendalian karhutla bagi daerah. Kementerian Lingkungan Hidup dan Kehutanan mendorong agar dana bagi hasil, dana reboisasi atau DBH-DR dapat dimanfaatkan untuk pengendalian karhutla baik di tingkat provinsi maupun kabupaten yang merupakan daerah rawan kebakaran. Juga penggunaan dana desa untuk penanggulangan bencana di tingkat desa. Revitalisasi sarana dan prasarana pengendalian karhutla. Untuk menunjang kegiatan pengendalian karhutla, penguatan Sarpras terus dilakukan. Pemadaman melalui darat dan udara secara dini, serta teknologi modifikasi cuaca hujan buatan. Dalam penanganan karhutla, berbagai upaya penanggulangan dilakukan secara cepat dan tepat agar api tidak meluas. Penanganan pasca karhutla. Penanganan pasca karhutla di wilayah yang terdampak dilakukan melalui pengawasan areal bekas terbakar, inventarisasi luas kebakaran, pengumpulan bahan dan keterangan untuk keperluan penegakan hukum, dan pemulihan ekosistem melalui rehabilitasi hutan dan lahan. Penegakan hukum terhadap pelaku pembakaran hutan dan lahan. Penegakan hukum terus diupayakan untuk menimbulkan efek jera kepada para pelaku pembakaran hutan dan lahan. Upaya-upaya pencegahan terus dikedepankan agar karhutla di Indonesia terus berkurang untuk kelestarian lingkungan dan kesejahteraan masyarakat.
Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the fourth webinar series on forest and land fire management. I hope you just enjoy watching the video from Indonesia. I would like to thank you for joining us through this Zoom meeting, and also for those who is listening to this webinar in the Knowledge Center of Climate Change, located in Block 1, Manggalawana Bakti Building, Jakarta. A couple of days ago, we just celebrated World Environment Day, which was held on the 5th of June. The theme was Only One Earth, so have a happy World Environment Day. By celebrating this day, the United Nations hopes to raise worldwide environmental awareness and action. Speaking of global action, today we will look at the technologies and innovations that are assisting us with fire management. The discussion will be led by me, Yani, and 5 incredible speakers from Indonesia, Thailand, and Australia. As we are aware, uncontrolled, unintentional wildfires have had an impact on our lives, resulting in human losses, economic losses, or impaired environmental quality. The questions now are how these technology and innovations have recently been produced to reduce the loss or to improve the quality of our lives. How effective are they? Are they transferable or not? This talk could pique your interest or raise your questions. Ladies and gentlemen, I also have exciting news for all participants. The organizer, the ITTO and Ministry of Environment and Forestry has offered a gift for 5 participants who have good, engaging, interesting, and thoughtful questions. During the presentation, we urge you to type your questions to the link provided in your chat box, and the winners will be announced at the end of our program. So please stay tuned here. Hopefully you will be the lucky winners. So here's the prior winner from the 3rd webinar series, which took place a few weeks ago. Congratulations to all winners. Okay, before we begin the main session, the presentation, I'd like to invite you all to turn on your camera for a picture session. So ladies and gentlemen, please turn on your cameras for a quick photo shoot. And the organizer will please help us to take some pictures to make sure that everyone will be captured on this session.
Okay. 1. One, 2, 3, 4. Yes, finish.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So moving on to our next agenda, which is the core session of today's webinar. I would like to invite our first speaker, Ms. Eva Famurianti. She works for the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, the Republic of Indonesia. She holds the Master Degree of Science and Bachelor of Forestry from IBB University, and also Diploma in Applied Chemistry. This is really interesting combination between forestry and chemistry. And she also achieved some awards, including the nominee for United Nations for Public Service Award in last year, and also the second best participant at leadership training class. And most of the achievements are related to what she will present it today with us. It's Sipongi. Sipongi is a system that created by the Indonesian government which involve in innovation and technology. So Ms. Eva, without any further ado, the floor and the screen comes yours.
Thank you. Good morning to all of you. Today, I would like to thank to the organizer, MOF and the ITTO to make this webinar happen. I send my best regard to all resource persons from Thailand, Australia, as well as Indonesia in this webinar. It is an honor for me to be here today, and I am going to share a brief information about the Sipongi system. Here we go. Okay. Can all of you see my screen?
Yes, we can see. Make it a slideshow, please.
Okay. This is Sipongi. This is a forest and land fire monitoring system. And what is the background of these systems? Because in 2015, there is a several wildfire caused 2.6 million hectares of land burn. It's equivalent to 4.5 Bali Islands. And at the time, the pollutant index in endangered level, and more than 150,000 people affected to respiratory problems. And we have also economic and social impact. And there is also a transboundary haze within the ASEAN. And there is a total loss of estimation about 16 million US dollars. What make this happen? Because at the time, the forest and fire information less accurate. It make the information based on personnel reports only and not verified. And at the time, data processing is semi-manual and depends on personnel, so the response time more than 3 days. And then the limited access and haven't reached all stakeholders. And data issued by several institutions, it make the data discrepancies and create public confusion. And there's a limited human resource to monitor and control forest and land fires. What the uniqueness of Sipongi? Sipongi is like a weird or unique name. Many people ask me, what is this? Sipongi is come from Pongo pygmeus. It's the Latin name of orangutan. We have a commitment for managing the wildfire because at the time in period in 1997 and 1998, there's orangutan habitat was destroyed by wildfires. And then the second, we are the first dual interface fire monitoring system in Indonesia. We have the public interface and we have the internal interface. And we are the first system that integrated satellite data and field data from CCTV thermal and ground checking data. And we also collaboration with many stakeholders in Indonesia. This is for legal standing guide by the One Map One policy data in Indonesia. And we also have keyword filter such as Karhutla, Fire, Mangalagni, and etc. for fast tracking of fire indication in social media. And we also have SMS Blast for hotspot and early warning that reach all over city in Indonesia. What is the impact of Sipongi? Of course, it's increased collaboration between stakeholders and also increased community resilience for disaster. And increased response time from 3 days to 1 day. This is one of the efforts to minimize the destruction of Indonesia's forests, which support more than 25,000 villages in around forests, equivalent to 9 million households. And because of the point 3, we can decrease, it contributed to the reducing burn area up to 86%. And because of that, of course, it contributed to decreasing of Indonesian GHG with prevention effort. Okay. In this slide, I would to tell you about our development of Sipongi fire monitoring system. We already managed to develop the fire monitoring system about 25 years. In the upper levels is the early level of our development since 1997. From only with one satellite, when would have a ground station in Bogor and Jakarta, and we only disseminate with radio, fax, and email. And in 2002, we disseminate with radio, fax, email, and we have also a mailing list, Sipongi Yahoo group. In 2006, we have the X-band rooftop dome, and we relayed the Terra Aqua hotspot. And in 2009 and 2011, we have a joint collaboration with Indonesia and Australia through indofire.org. There's Dr. Matthew Adam here from the Landgate. Okay, in 2015, we relaunched the Sipongi, actually maybe in March 2015. And it's fully automatic and dual interface. And the satellite is not only, and we already connected with social media like Facebook and Twitter. In 2017, we integration Sipongi and KMS because there is integration between institutions in Indonesia. The hotspot, we add some hotspot like NOAA, INS, NPP, and Terra Aqua. And we make a cluster hotspot, the recommendation for ground checking, and we update it every 30 minutes. And we also have SMS Blast for hotspot only. And we also add social media like Instagram and YouTube. In 2019, we add some Landsat hotspot from Lapan and NASA. And we also develop our mobile apps in Android. And we also have the cooperation with Ministry of Communication for disaster SMS Blast. And we also launch online-based reporting for private sector. In 2020, we refresh our dashboard and add ground checking direction on mobile app. And in 2021, we changed to Sipongi Plus, and we add some weather forecast with water level, user analytics, the up location, and etc. And at this time, we also launched our mobile apps in iOS. And in 2022, we refresh our dashboard and we add some SHP automatic, and we add online-based report from ground checking and suppression. Okay, sorry. Okay, what is Sipongi? So this is the Sipongi in public interface. We have so many data. This is the home. As you can see, we have data and information like hotspot, wind direction, pollutant index, speed, water level, the ups location, burn area and emission, regulation news, user analytics, private sector reporting, and etc. For the private sector online reporting, we need the registration from the private sector. And for the fire danger system, we are collaborating with Indonesia Meteorological Bureau. Okay, and this is the Sipongi internal interface. This is only for internal Ministry of Environment and Forestry. And of course, registration needed. We can overlay map with many functions, ground checking and suppression reporting, and hotspot based on land cover and automatic SHP, CCTV thermal data from 15 locations in Indonesia. We call it the Sipongi Kitchen because we have 9 leveling user, admin, operator, and user in national level, regional level, and provincial level. We manage the data information in Sipongi public. We can switch the resource hotspot, LAPAN or NASA, and we can instant reporting from all of data in internal interface. We can manage early warning SMS blast and data stockcasting and many more. Okay, and this is our Sipongi mobile apps. You can download it at Google Play Store or App Store. So basically, it have the same data and information with Sipongi Web, but we also have this ground checking and suppression reporting for personnel only. You need to input your username or email and password to access this. And this is, you can choose whether you want to report or you want to report the ground checking or you want to report the suppression. Okay, how about Sipongi today? Today, we still improving, adapting the monitoring system, automation, integration of the data, and we need to wider access and change in satellite and technology, and of course, network security. And then we also data custodian of forest and fire in Indonesia. It's a legal standing of one map on one data policy. And the Sipongi system is the monitoring system with the widest access in Indonesia. All over Indonesia, 512 districts all over Indonesia, included non-internet area reached by SMS blast. And the recognition, we already accessed, but more than 1 million users in the web only. And we also have the visitation, comparative study, research, and cooperation offer from other institutions. Last week, there is a Google Indonesia that offer us to cooperate with them. And then we also have a award top 1999 and top 45 in 2019. And we also have award top 15 special group in 2021 in Innovator Award, and also nominee of UNPSA. This is some award that we have. Okay, how about the efficiency? We are with the system, we can make the efficient in time and resource, because it's automatically updated every 30 minutes, more efficient on human resource. It's compact, handy, and time saving. And this we always system do the revitalization system and hardware. And during the COVID pandemic, we implementation of efficiency in COVID-19 pandemic, because the budget refocusing to handling COVID-19. So we need to optimization of operational, change base map from paid to the free, and we have the personal picket rescheduling, and we have the implemented safety procedure and combined forest and then fire campaign with COVID-19 through social media. What we can, what lesson learned we can take from our system? One is the monitoring system can accelerate field response from 3 days to 1 day. It may vary depending on country condition or local condition. Fast response can increase efficiency in handling forest and land fire. Coordination increase and burn area will decrease. Managing the fire monitoring system requires patience, creativity, and continuity. and development of monitoring system must follow trends and latest technology. And the last and but not least is the commitment of the leadership should support stability of institution and also financing determine the sustainability of the system. So it's not a one-man show. It's the team working group so the system can be successful. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ms. Eva is really sharp. Well, actually, you still have 2 minutes left. So I don't want to conclude a lot because, Ms. Eva has already told us the 25 years of development of the system they call Sipongi, and they've got a recognition, really lots of recognitions. And she also mentioned the Sipongi kitchen. I can imagine there are lots of going on behind the scene. You probably, the user, can just only see the information, or probably some of you are complaining of the data probably missing or whatever, but knows now that lots of people are working behind the scene. And I also noted that the collaboration is also the key of the success of the Sipong system. So next speaker, I would like to invite Mr. Sigit Pramono from Jakarta Technology Institute. So Mr. Sigit from Indonesia, he holds his master degree of electrical engineering and also Bachelor of Electrical Engineering. He come up with some innovations, including smart poultry, Sihutla, Agrotech, and one of them, I believe, he will present it to us. And all of the innovations absolutely will link to the intellectual property rights. So without further ado, Mr. Sigit, the floor, the experience now is yours.
Salah ini salah ini.
While we're waiting for Mr. Sigit, just to remind me, all participants, there is a link for you who want to raise some questions, and then the organizer will collect the best 5 participants who raised the good questions, intriguing questions. Mr. Sigit, are you ready? Okay, so now we can see your PowerPoint. Please proceed. Please go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the time. First of all, I would like to thanks to the respected committee for allowing me to share about the technology and innovation in supporting fire management. It's my honor to be here. This forest fire detection system is the innovative result of the collaboration between the Institut Teknologi Telkom Purwokerto and the Internet of Things Division of Telkom Indonesia. Before I start the presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Sigit Pramono. I'm a lecturer and the head of the Innovation Center in Institut Teknologi Telkom Purwokerto. And I also a founder of startup of Agrotech, which focus on the developing the Internet of Things in agriculture and environment. For your information, I got a bachelor in electrical engineering. Uh, for information, I got a bachelor engineering from Universitas Islam Indonesia, and then I continue my study in Universitas Indonesia for my master degree on telecommunication engineering. You can call me on share email. This is my number, and this my email. Oh.
Mr. Sigit, do you
Okay,
want us to help you with the PowerPoint? We can help for sure.
When we talk about the forest fire, we never forget about the air pollution issue. For example, in 2015, Malaysia and Singapore had bad haze, which came from forest fire in Indonesia. According to the World Bank, the extreme weather condition because El Nino can increase the temperature of the sea in the Southern Ocean. The phenomenon happened again in early 2016. And then air pollution leads to several diseases and estimate 3 million deaths per year. It's because allergic conjunctivitis, allergic rhinitis, asthma, stroke, head disease, lung cancer, and chronic respiration disease. Furthermore, we also found the other issues with the real-time monitoring. The real-time monitoring using tower had several weaknesses, such as the officer has come to the tower and used binocular for monitoring. There is no data record and detailed information. The cost is high. The implementation real-time monitoring for forest fire prevention has challenges like the limited power source and the internet network for connectivity to the server. Sihutla Forest Fire Detection System is a forest and land fire monitoring system based on the Internet of Things and can be implemented to prevent forest and land fire by detecting potential fire hotspots early. The function of sensor device is a reading 9 environment data with solar panel as the power source. Data communication between Sihutla device and LoRa gateway use the LoRa network because this network has low power, long range up to 100 km and include the unlicensed band. LoRa network server enable connectivity, management and monitoring end user devices, gateways, and application. Its main objective to ensure the security, scalability, and reliability of data routing across the network. As we can see, Sihutla has a full feature and integrated system. One direction sensor, wind speed sensor, rainfall sensor, multi-sensor, and it contains air temperature sensor, air humidity, air pressure, light intensity, CO2 gas, and smoke intensity. Soil temperature sensor for monitoring temperature changes, This system uses a lithium battery as the power supply and can be charged with solar panel. And also, it has a panic button to emergency. Sihutla has 3 advantages compared to the other product. For example, the monitoring system is carried out remotely. The monitoring, the cost is low, and it presents 9 sensor parameters in real time for analytical and predictive data. I believe that all stakeholders have a noble goals, such as preventing monitoring forest fire. We must collaborate and complement each other to be more effective in environment conservation. As we will know, Institut Telkom Purwokerto developed the sensor device and the real-time monitoring, while Telkom Indonesia provide LoRaWAN network and internet backbone. And Sipongi or BRGM perform data analysis. Sihutla is ready to synergize with related parties by maximizing the Institut Telkom Purwokerto and Telkom Indonesia resource. Thanks all for the presentation. Thank you your attention. I give back the time to the moderator, and good afternoon.
Thanks, Mr. Sigit, for interesting presentation. He offered a system, a so-called Sihutla. It's a forest fire detection system. He also raised our awareness on the need to have a real-time monitoring with low cost, yet able to do it remotely. But probably the next question is, more interesting, perhaps, to hear more from him, how this technology could be applied in Indonesia, or is there any requirement to get it optimum monitoring at any site? So just raise your question, type your question on the link that provided in the chat box. The next speaker, I would like to invite Dr. Matthew Adams. He's from Landgate. Wait a minute, let me pull out. Okay. Let me read his short profile. So Dr. Matthew Adams is the Director of Earth Observation within Location Services at Landgate, Australia. The Earth Observation branch at Landgate is responsible for the delivery of aerial photography and satellite imagery to support a wide array of government and community services, including high-resolution mapping in cities and town sites, and the provision of satellite-derived data and information systems for agriculture or natural resources uses, as well as emergency management systems. Among the latter, there is an Aurora, Western Australia's endorsed bushfire spread simulator that combines the latest satellite and weather information with the latest fire spread models to assist emergency services with active fire management. I'm not sure if he will talk about the Aurora or what. Anyway, Dr. Adams, the floor is now yours.
Thank you very much, Yenny. First off, I need to acknowledge that I'm coming to you from the traditional lands of the Whadjuk Noongar people. And it's very pleasant to catch up with some old friends from the engagement that we had between 2009 and 2011. Let me get my one firing off. Okay. So when we came to, Landgate came to Indonesia back as far as 2006, we had a program running called Firewatch. Firewatch has been running for 30 years now. Started in probably late 1980s, because fire is very important, particularly in the northern part of Western Australia. It supports bushfire management across Australia. And we use near real-time satellite observation and geotechnologies to map, monitor, and actually predict bushfires. Underpinning particularly the prediction side is integrating key data sets that are important for fire spread within Western Australia, particularly how dry it actually is, whether it's going to rain or not. And the key one is actually the time since the fuel last burn. So we have a variety of vegetation across the country, ranging from grasslands to tropical forests. Since we last worked with Indonesia, we added Aurora, which provided the fire spread prediction capability to Firewatch based on satellite imagery to predict fire behavior and potential impact. That's been endorsed by our state authorities as the fire simulation tool for the state of Western Australia. Why is it important? Over the past 30 years, this is a map of all the places in Australia that have actually been mapped as having burnt. The southeast corner around the ACT, Australian Capital Territory, and Sydney, a lot of that was just burned a couple of years ago. In the northern part of Australia, where it's really quite red, particularly when you get into the tropics or above the Tropic of Capricorn, many of those areas will burn every year and sometimes twice a year, just associated with the rainfall events. As a broad indicator, we burned about, on average, from 1997 to 2019, about 52 million hectares is burned each year, mostly in uncontrolled fires, and the most of that comes from the Northern Territory. What's a bit unique is in the 2019-2020, when there was a black summer of bushfires, a couple of states actually significantly increased by an order of magnitude. So New South Wales, 213,000 is what their average is. They burnt 4.6 million hectares. In Victoria, it was 177,000 going to 1.4 million. And the interesting thing that I noticed on when I looked at these statistics is that the traditional areas that tend to burn more on average burned less. The Northern Territory was only burned 10 million instead of 22 million, and Western Australia only burned 9 million instead of 19 million. Obviously an indicator of the very unusual weather system that occurred over that particular summer. I got some lovely videos of that particular, as the fire developed. They started in southeast Queensland, and you could watch the fires just sort of move down week by week until they reached their maximum just after New Year on 2020. In terms of the context on where do we get data, since about in 2017, the Australian governments came together and created ANGST. And ANGST is actually, we were very deliberate with that because we were very trepidatious or very anxious about whether this would work. But it does translate into the Australian National Ground Segment Technical Team. The website address is there, so it is open to the public. And it's really aimed at trying to coordinate satellite capture over the entire Australian continent and into Indonesia as well, through a network of satellite receiving stations. And these are shown on this particular map, including the dark blue outlines, which is the extent of what they can receive. The Shoal Bay and Darwin is basically all, Shoal 3, the polar orbiting satellites, just like the ones received by Sipongi, are referred to as Tier 3 stations in this diagram. And so you have Shoal Bay and Darwin, Learmonth, Murdoch here in Perth, Alice Springs, Crib Point, Hobart, and the dish out at Ames, all being Tier 3 receiving stations. The Bureau of Meteorology runs the vast majority of those, with a couple of historical dishes contributing as well. The Tier 1 site listed in Alice Springs is used to receive Landsat data as well. The Murdoch station down here in Perth receives many of the satellites you'd expect. The motor sensors off of Terra and Aqua, Suomi MPP, the NOAA 18 and NOAA 19, We also receive MEDOP Bs and C because they have an AVHRR instrument on them, similar to NOAA 18 and NOAA 19, and JPSS 1, which is about 20 minutes behind, it's also known as NOAA 20. We have the only Western Australia, the Murdoch dish and Alice Springs can receive Finyong 3D and 3E stations or data. And we're in the process of actually upgrading our dish here in Perth to ensure that we can capture the Finyong 3 series, particularly as Terra is getting very old, having been launched in 1999. We also have plans to capture MEDOP 2nd generation and JPSS 2. Should this presentation be released to all the participants, those are all clickable links that will take you to the relevant website to tell you more. Landgate is also part of something called the Copernicus Australasia Regional Data Hub. That hub actually captures or takes a copy of the data from those 5 Sentinel satellites. And we cover about 1/8 of the world's surface. So we go from as far south as Antarctica up into Southeast Asia. The listing of the different Sentinel satellites is there. So, and there are planned to be generally 2 satellites per number. So there's normally would there be 2 Sentinel-1 C-band radar satellites, but one of them is malfunctioned. Its replacement is due up in 2023. There's Sentinel-2, which is sort of like Landsat. Sentinel-3 is sort of like an Aqua or Terra with some additional interesting instruments on it. Sentinel-5 is actually an atmospheric sounder, so it's more around atmospheric quality. And Sentinel-6 was recently launched, and it's really replacing Jason as a sea surface height. So more around oceanography and climate rather than maybe fire. But the Copernicus Australasia Regional Data Hub does actually sync all of that data into a storage facility at the National Computing Infrastructure. You can find more information at copernicus.gov.au. In Landgate, we actually manage the synchronization of all that data for Western Australia, South Australia, and Southeast Asia into the supercomputing center here in Western Australia called PAWSI. And that's just so that we can get the data closer to the compute. We also have data agreements in place with the Bureau to source Himawari 8 Himawari 8 satellite data, as well as gridded forecast weather from the Bureau of Meteorology, which we need to support simulations. We also get a bit of lightning strike. So that's a Himawari 8 image there with lightning that we get from a company in the United States, because lightning is an important source of starting fires, particularly in the north. Since we actually engaged with Indonesia in 2009, when we were doing about 20 gigabytes per day of processing, when we started downloading Himawari 8, we did a big jump from 2014 to 2019. And then as we started processing operationally Sentinel-3 data, we've increased it again. So we actually processing about 170 gigabytes of raw data every day. And that does include Sentinel-2 as well as Landsat data. All of our systems are available through firewatch.landgate.wa.gov.au. This is more on the delivery side. So some of the new things that I've seen with Sipongi that Eva presented earlier. And we've got 4 different types of applications. We start with My Firewatch, which is designed for a phone. You can see we do pick up a little bit of Indonesia in there. That is really designed for simple needs. It just has a few layers. It was actually built in consultation with the community of Kununurra in the very northern part of the state, and is designed for anyone to use. For those with more complex information needs or wants, we have our standard we call it Firewatch Pro. Gives you a whole lot of additional information, including the ability to see contextual satellite imagery from the various sources and look at different satellite fire hotspot sources as well. Where My Firewatch will not put Himawari 8 fire hotspots on, you can get to the Himawari 8 fire hotspots on Firewatch Pro. Our most complex system is called Aurora, and that actually does fire simulations. So in this particular diagram, there's a little red diamond sitting there on the upper right of the image there. That's a fire near Perth. And then we take the weather data, elevation data, and the vegetation data, and we simulate where that fire is going to go over the next 24 hours based on the predicted weather. And it wraps around that dark area. That's a Sentinel-2 fire enhanced image, because that area is already burnt. So it's not going to tend to burn into that particular area. The colors and the polygons there are isochrons. So 3 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours, and that's so people can sort of see the map data underneath it. The more intense the color, so the more intense the blue, the sooner it is after the ignition point. To help support the volunteer firefighters, particularly around fire simulation movement, we have the fire behavior calculator, which basically is designed for whatever forest spread model you want to, or fire spread model you want to use, what the weather is. It'll give you an estimate of what the fire spread is going to be at a specific point. So Firewatch Aurora is around spreading the fire in time and space, whereas this one is really just 1 point. Fire behavior calculator is around 1 point and how fast is the fire going to spread, and look at some sensitivity analysis if there's changes to wind speed or wind direction in a more easily used format. This is actually available to anyone. Unfortunately, Firewatch Aurora, because we have very dry, hot, and windy summers here, is restricted to emergency services agencies only. And that really comes from the fact that you could actually, if you're an arsonist, plan where you can have the most destructive impact in starting a fire by using that particular system. So from those applications, we move from the less complex to the more complex. And we move from mapping to monitoring and to predicting. Now I'll go through these very quickly. This is we had a very significant fire event here in 2021 that started near Perth, about 26 k's from where I'm standing now, and resulted in the loss of about 90 houses, but no deaths, luckily. This is sort of the location. I'm coming down here from Midland on the southwest. Perth is a little bit further west on this map. The fire will start on the far east. That is actually a Himawari 8 image, showing that there's nothing happened. And then we picked up a fire hotspot and it's warm. So you got to remember that the fire hotspots on Himawari 8 are 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers for 4. So that's a 4 square kilometer, already an 8 square kilometer fire. If we look a little bit later, that fire started about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So if we pick up the next aqua pass, you can start seeing it's the red and you can start seeing the smoke. And that's the predicted fire spread over the next 24 hours. We have all those points there because there's a lot of information attached to the points. Fire spread, fire intensity in particular, because fire intensity determines what you can actually treat the fire with. Once it goes above 8,000 kilowatt meters, you can't use water. So you can see underneath those points, we have those isochrons I showed you before. And then there's the Himawari 8 fire hotspots, the very white imagery there. And you can see them moving over the course of the day. We also integrate into Aurora the a line scanner, which is a thermal and SWIR line scanner. And you can sort of, the red, yellow bits are where the fire actually is. The green bits are where it's cooling off a bit. And you can sort of
Mr. Adams?
Yep.
You have 2 minutes left.
That's fine. I'm going to rip it through.
Okay.
And you can sort of see that goes through and that the mapping sort of matches. There was a wind change there that pushed the fire to the north. That was outside the simulation time frame. And you can actually see individual trees. This is actually done automatically, straight from the plane into the system. That is the Sentinel-2 fire scar that was done at the very end of the fire. And we've been looking at severity. There's a lot of interest in severity here. So with Yenny, I've come to the end. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. A really impressive presentation. We can hear from you. The Firewatch program has been developed. You mentioned that, if I'm not mistakenly, put it right. The note here that from monitoring to predicting,
Yes.
and from simple to professional.
Yes.
This is right. And by integrating all the spatial data sets from specifically from remote sensing and satellite images and the wind and everything, and it comes up with a very kind of near real time product and can be accessed to all the public. It's not inclusive, but it's really publicly available. So it's really, really impressive. We will hear more about it, and I believe, the participants have also a lot of questions to use. But hold on, let's moving on to our. Thank you. So let's move on to our next speaker. We have Dr. Neon Siri Mongkonlatkun from Raja Mangala University. She's Thai. She holds a doctorate degree in the field of natural resources and management, and also master degree in the field of spatial information system in engineering, and bachelor degree in the civil engineering. So I can see that she has really comprehensive skills here: spatial information, natural resources, and civil engineering. And so by that, she received some awards, including the National Innovation Award this year on social and environment. Smokewatch, the one that I believe she will present it today, share with us today. And she also received an outstanding research on monitoring system for burning and development of open burning network in Chiang Rai province through smartphone system, and also received the Thailand ICT Awards in 2016, and also the Ratanarajasuda Information Technology Awards. Dr. Neon, now the screen now is yours.
Yes, thank you so much. สวัสดีค่ะ Good morning from Thailand. Firstly, I would like to say thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here. I'll have 4 topics to present today. May I share my screen now?
Sure.
Yes, but I cannot.
Do you need our help? I believe the organizer.
Could you see?
Yes.
Okay.
It's now loading. Yes. And please make it a slideshow.
Okay. Just a moment, please.
It's okay.
Yes, but it's not move. Okay, everyone. Today I will present about the mobile application for file management operation. Today I prepare for 4 topics for presentation. The first, I will give you the overview of the foreign hotspot in Thailand and neighboring country in GMS country. I will also discuss the case of foreign. After that, I will focus on the file management, the use of mobile application, and finally, I will talk about the expansion and collaboration. Now, let's dive our first topic, the overview of file situation. This image shows about the file information from satellite data. We can see the file situation around the world. It is the file data on 26 April 20 and 2022. These 2 maps show the pattern of file hotspot in Lower Mekong country. Left picture, file hotspot in the past year to the 20 and 20. And on the left picture, current file hotspot situation in this year. You can see the pattern of foreign hotspot on both maps are similar. Agriculture is one of the major sources of livelihood in Thailand. Economic drive is also one of causes that make farmers unable to afford to clear their land property. They just set a prescribed to clear their farm, or or the season for cleaning the land for the next crop. So we will see a lot of forest hotspot in the northern of Thailand on drying season every year. Then if the forest hotspot expand to the big wildfire, it means a big disaster for the human life. It's cannot, okay. In Thailand, one forest fire from Department of National Park, Wildlife and Plant Conservation has to be responsible for the area of 800 hectares. The manpower is not sufficient at all to protect and monitor the area prone to fire. So to solve this problem, the government sector needs volunteer, community, and business sector. This question came across on my mind. How can we see the forest hotspot together? Not only the forest firefighter, not only the government sector. How we can access to the location of the forest hotspot, and how can we control or stop the fire by using the fire hotspot? And making decision with the location should be the first priority. Then we developed the innovation mobile application to monitor forest hotspot called Smoke Watch. It is a collaboration among various organizations. Initially, we mainly work with the forest fire officer, ranger, and volunteer. So far, we have expanded our collaboration to wider network, including civil society organization, school, kids, and youth. It is thus mobile application solution for hotspot monitoring and networking. This app visualizes the near real-time fire hotspot location from satellite observation data. The firefighter use the app to access the near real-time fire distribution, prioritize manpower, plan a route to fire location, and deploy the team to put out the fire. The app shows the overview map of forest hotspot location, description of the forest hotspot, statistics, a route to the forest hotspot. The apps allow the public to report the fire incident. Decision makers had firefighters have sufficiently information to access the situation through this app when the critical situation occur. The provincial brings this app to the policy in the province, Chiang Rai province. The governor said this app is a one-tool for monitor the forest hotspot in the province. The leader of every district must download this app and monitor the fire from this app. If the forest hotspot show in the district, the leader must report the situation in the live group. The provincial set the reward for the district who has a fire hotspot reduced. Moreover, the district set the reward to sub-district and the village who has the fire hotspot reduced, the burn scar or the burn area reduced also. This process is transferred to the technology to the community network. This is, for example, the report and work together with the local with the government and many sector. This is one of the picture in the last year or so. After we use this app since 2019, we have noted minimum burn area or burn scar in the northern part of Thailand. It is reported by the Geographic, Geometric and Space Technology Department Agency. We call it GSTAR. The forest firefighter community leader and civilians believe the Smoke Watch app has helped them to locate the fire, control the fire, and stop it. They believe that this app is significant for forest fire management. Not only the scientific innovation to help society to fire management operation, We also bring this innovation to the education system. We have created a Boost School project to educate school kids on importance of the forest and ecosystem, impact of the burning activity and the climate change. The Smoke Watch app has been introduced to the education and response activity in the school. Now, to address the transboundary issue, our collaboration is also expanding to neighboring countries such as Myanmar and Laos. Moreover, we need partners to expand this story to every corner of the world. Also, use of technology for fire monitoring should be adopted at the community level. Raising awareness and the bottom-up policy approach are also one of the keys of thicker air pollution problem. Educating kids years about the environment and ecosystem is very important as well as. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Neon, for a comprehensive presentation. I noted here that she shared with us one of the apps, so-called Smoke Watch, a handy mobile apps. These apps has helped not only the community, but also the policymakers. This technology or innovation has been also transferred to other countries and also educate the youth, if I'm not mistaken, got your point. And perhaps some of the participants, even myself, raised some questions. Probably might be interesting if we could hear more from her, the challenge she faced, by developing these apps or these technology innovations. What are the future directions to enhance the technology? But anyway, I believe the participants will have some question on it. Moving on to the next speaker, I would like to invite Mr. Aikakarungroj. I'm sorry, it's not really easy to pronounce your name. I'm really sorry because, how would you like us to call you?
Just call me AJ. A-N-J.
AJ. Okay,
Yes.
Mr. AJ. Okay, AJ, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
Let me read Mr. AJ profile. So he works for Asian Disaster Preparedness Center in Thailand. I believe ADPC.
Yes.
ADPC is not only working, or monitor the Thailand, but also Asian in general, right? And he has this really interesting vision, exploiting the advancement of geospatial data science and technology to enhance environmental management processes, decision-making, modeling, and simulation of complex scale systems. But at the first time when I read his vision, a little bit intriguing me, but then I understand why, because he was a master degree in remote sensing and geographic information system, and also environmental science. So by then he gained some scientific skills, including soil and water sampling, soil nutrients and water quality parameters, laboratory analysis, remote sensing classification technique, and global positioning system technology, and calculation of greenhouse gases emission. I believe he will discuss more about it in this talk. So AJ, it's your time now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Yenny. Sharing the screen. All right. There you go. PowerPoint.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. And next, full screen. Okay. All right. This is the episode number 2. All right. Followed up from Dr. Neon's presentation. Just now we heard about the smoke watch, right? To control, to manage the forest fire, right? And there was a spinning off project from her, this is her mastermind as well, from Dr. Neon's mobile application called Burn Check, which is the topic that I am speaking now. This is a part of the agricultural fire management Okay, just now is the forest fire plus a little bit of the agriculture fire, but now we are focusing on the agricultural fire management. Okay, my name is AJ and working for the Asian Disaster Preparedness Center. My email is right there. In case in the future we will be partnering up. Okay, and let's start. I have two topics. The first one, I will talk about why we are here today, why we have built the smoke wash and the burn check application, the overview of the fire hotspots in the Southeast Asia. No, not Southeast Asia, lower Mekong countries, including all the 5 countries. And then from that challenge, we then developed the modern technology, the application. And I'm going to talk about the burn check in particular. Let's dive in. First of all, let's talk about the big picture of the fire situation. We can, from these 2 maps, we can, see the pattern of the fire hotspots. This is the 18 years of data from 2003 to 2020. From Jan to February, we can see a lot of dense fire hotspots in Cambodia, okay, and some part in Myanmar, okay, and then the pattern changes when it comes to March and April. It moved up to Laos and northern of Thailand and major part in Myanmar. All right, the red zones here. And if we look at the, hold on, please. Look at the trend. Okay. This is the trend, 18 years. The red one means it goes up. The number of fire tends to get higher, right? And the blue one, it reduces. Again, January and February in Cambodia, the trend is up. See the red zone and the border between Thailand and Cambodia. The trend is lower. The number is going down. All right. And then moving to the right, March and April, I think many parts in lower Mekong region, the trend is higher. Okay, the red zone here. Some part of border between Thailand and Laos is getting better. Thailand and Myanmar getting better as well. And then last of the overview, looking those fire, we overlaid them on the modest land cover change. I would like you to focus here, the first table up here. Most of the fire, this is the ranking from the maximum fire hotspots until less fire hotspots. Most of them, the fire occurred in the forest, especially when there is a land cover change from forest to croplands. Here, you see the second rank. Okay, so here comes our effort to really, bring those fire in the agricultural area. No matter what, it is the agricultural land itself or agricultural land inside the forest area, okay, to bring it to the control. Talking about in the past, we have implemented, I think, more than 10 years. Thai government has tried, to implement the we call the zero burning period around 3 months during the. I need to go back during this, this period, the dry season. They have implemented like from 1st of February until the end of April, something like that, depending on the geographic area. Okay, depending on the crop type. And then the zero burning area, it did not work well. it's kind of top down approach. So farmers, or I mean those who are in need, who really need to clear the land, as Dr. Neon spoke, is the way of life. It's the livelihood. You cannot change those livelihood only by one season or top down project. Then we had the idea to control the burning. I mean, we allow them to burn, but not in the random fashion like before, but we will allow them to burn in an order, the way that we control. Okay, we will work with them, with the people who will have to burn. So we come here to the second topic, the introduction to the burn check application. Here just the brief overview of what we have done under the ADPC, my organization. We also have one project on the air quality. We have built the geospatial tool. You can access it from this link. This tool provides two functionalities. The first one, it can give you the forecasted PM2.5 concentration 3 days in advance at the 3 hours interval. It uses the GEOS5 model from NASA. Okay, and the other one is the fire hotspot location from firm's system, NASA as well. And then from that fire hotspot, it has been providing the data to smoke watch application. Dr. Leon just spoke it. And then look at the first one, the forecast PM2.5. This is one of the key data set to be used inside the burn check application. I will tell you how. Hold on. So let's come to the burn check. Thai government has the idea to try to bring in those farmers who have to burn, okay, into the system. There will not be any more the illegal burning. Okay, let's do it the right way. So we will try to get them to the system. So we will have the farmer registration page. We will have the schedule of the burning activities in the next 3 days, and there will be a decision-making the back-end decision-making process going on inside the burn check application. And so, and after the decision has been made, the application plus the decision of the authority, the first option is that we will try not to allow them to burn. Okay, that will be the last thing we would want to do. We will provide the alternative solution. For example, can you shift your burning schedule? So many people have registered and they will burn at the same day. And also that particular day, the PM2.5 concentration seems to be high according to the model. The burn check application now, it's been, I think, almost 2 years. It's been under the pilot testing in many areas in the north of Thailand. The nature of the fire occurs most in the north of Thailand during the dry season, January to April. Okay, then the Thai government, led by the GISDA, the Space Agency of Thailand, developed this application. There are 2 versions on iOS and Android. Also for the administrators, they can also use the PC version, the web version as well. Okay. The benefit, the first thing is that, of course, as you know, we try to control the open agricultural burning. Yeah, and then after we can control those, not everybody will burn at the same time, so it will help reduce the PM2.5. Yes, and then inside the system, after you like like I am a farmer and I am allowed to conduct my burning activity. I really need to follow the procedure. After I finish my burning activity, I need to report back to the system, to the authority through the burn check application. I will have to take a picture. My fire activity has been controlled. It is done. It has been extinguished already. So it will prevent the spreading into the wide area, right? Also, it will prevent fire, which we mostly conduct in the agricultural area. And then somehow in the past, it went over control. We couldn't control it. So it went to the forest area. It happened many times. So through this app, after you want to conduct the activity, after you have done your activity, you really need to report back your activity is done. Take a photo. It doesn't go inside the forest, something like that. And then overall, it will help reduce the impact to the climate change. And who will use it? We try to make this application very user-friendly. The first target end users is the general public. No matter you are the Grab riders, but you have your own land. You do the farmer, you do the farming, and you want to burn, or you want to. This is the next step. You want to burn your garbage, but not now, not now. I mean, in the future, you can register to this application, right? Also, the government authorities, they can also use this application to see the whole picture in their responsible area, like in their district. Most of the farmers have registered and they have scheduled their burning activity through the app, right? So the government officers, they can plan accordingly. We will let these villagers to conduct their burning first, something like that. Excuse me. All right, moving on. So you may not get the picture yet. Let me show you step by step here how to start. Download the app, Android or iOS. It's in Thai, unfortunately, but let me walk you through. I will try to make things simple. Then you register, okay? Your name, your address, okay? Province. And next, these two steps are important. Next, step number 3, you have to locate your burning activity using the GPS technology embedded in your phone. You can just, like you use the Google Map, you can go to your place easily, okay? Or if you are not right there at your specific location, you can identify your location using the coordinates, okay? And then here, the last step, the most important, you need to tell the app when you want to conduct your activity, okay? You pick from the calendar, right? After you pick the date you want to burn, like for example, the next 2 days, Mr. AJ wants to burn the rice field. Then I need to select what kind of crop, in how big, how much area, and what kind of crop. Also, I have to take the pictures of my field, okay, before burning, right? And then I submit that request, okay? That request will go to the central database system, which will go to the decision maker in that province. In Thailand, we have implemented the one single command unit, where the provincial governor has the single command, single authority to allow the burning to happen. Okay, and then the system. Okay, this is the example of after I have done my request. This is my location. And what I do the rice field. I would like to burn the next 2 days. around 10 o'clock in the morning, then the system will, at this moment, the criteria to decide, okay, it will request, the system will connect to the GEOS5 database to get the PM2.5 concentration of that next 2 days of that specific time. Okay, and if it goes beyond the amount of, threshold that I think at the moment the GISTA, I think they set it around, I'm not sure, 100 micron PM2.5, the threshold level. If that's next 2 days specific time, the model says it will go beyond that threshold level, then the application will respond back to the farmer that you are not approved to conduct the burning, okay, or you are approved. Not many people will conduct the burning, and the PM2.5 will be low. You are good to go, or it is pending. This is a specific case, like somehow the land might be, located in the such a, it doesn't belong to the farmer himself. It belongs to some kind of forest area, but this is a very problem in detail. I mean, as you know, we have layers of problem. Maybe the farmer has been conducting their farm inside the forest area for who knows how long, like more than 10 years. So it becomes their land, something like that, but they don't have a deed. They don't have a paper, something like that. So it's pending. So
Excuse me, AJ.
Yes.
Excuse me, you have 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And then after I have conducted my burning, I need to take a photo. It's done. It's been extinguished, and then status will be complete, something like that. Okay, and here is the example. The status has been approved, so I can conduct my activity. And that is all from the burn check application. Thank you very much.
Really sharp. Thank you. Thank you, AJ. So this is really interesting, and I was wondering if it can be transferable to give the lesson learned. How then Thailand come up with how to convince globally that by allowing this burning, I can say that is managed burning from previously, just like in Indonesia, it's zero burning into a restricted burning. Come up with these the apps. Really interesting. I believe some of the participants was interesting and interested in this topic. So yeah, I think we all just have all these speakers presenting their talk, and then before we continue with the discussion, the organizer already collected some questions, and hopefully the organizer also help share the questions to the speakers. While we are waiting for that, we still have one more videos to show. So I hope you enjoy this video.
Forests plays role in maintaining the global climate and maintaining environmental stability against disaster. Forests also the most diverse biodiversity on Earth and home to millions of flora and fauna. Indonesia's forests cover an area of 94.1 million hectares, or 50% of the total land area of Indonesia, and are the third largest in the world and play an important role as the lung of the world that produce oxygen for life on Earth. Forest and land fires that occur in Indonesia also cause environmental damage, economic losses, pose health problems, disrupting transportation, and also other socio-cultural activities. One of the efforts to prevent forest and land fire is to conduct early warning and early detection of forest and land fires. The Ministry of Environment and Forestry, as the data custodian of forest and land fires, develops an information system and early detection of forest and land fire monitoring called Sipongi. Sipongi synergizes data and information from the National Aeronautics and Space Agency or LAPAN, Meteorology, Climatology and Geophysics Agency or BMKG, Peatland Restoration Agency and Mangroves or PRGM, Ministry of Communication and Information, Provincial Task Force on Forest and Land Fire, and many more. The Sipongi system can be widely accessed by the public, which provides data and information on the distribution of hotspots, information on areas prone to forest and land fires, burnt area information, reporting on forest and land fires, and many more. Data and information are synchronized every 30 minutes and near real time. This system is also equipped with CCTV thermal monitoring in 15 vulnerable areas since 2019, emissions due to forest and land fires, paid water levels monitoring, and also able to estimate a forest fire occurrence patterns based on data series analysis and weather forecasting. Sipongi is equipped with mobile applications based on Android and iOS. Sipongi is also supported by social media to make it more accessible, keep up with the growing trend in technology and society. In order to expand its reach to areas with minimal internet network, SMS blast services are provided for early warning of forest and land fires disaster. Sipongi innovation also designed, developed, and accessible with the principles of gender equality. All gender are given equal opportunities in every process of development, manage the system, and public to access the system. Sipongi become a model of the implementation of the One Data, One Map policy that has increased the effectiveness of resources due to the division of roles and obligations to provide different data. This effort is proven to be able to increase efforts to prevent and control forest and land fires in Indonesia to be more effective and efficient. Sipongi increased the response time for forest and land fire control from 3 days to 1 day, as well as increased coordination of field personnel, which contributed to the reduction of forest and land fires by 88.59% as of November 2021, by 297,882 hectares compared to 2015 of 2.6 million hectares.
Sipongi is a web-based tool that helps us to monitor hotspots across the Indonesia. For the past 3 years, the Office of the President has been using Sipongi to monitor and analyze forest fires.
Terima kasih kepada Kementerian Lingkungan Hidup dan Kehutanan yang mana telah membuat suatu program Sipongi dalam rangka pencegahan karhutla di Kabupaten Ketapang.
Terima kasih sebesar-besarnya kepada Kementerian Lingkungan Hidup dan Kehutanan yang telah mengeluarkan aplikasi Sipongi, dan itu sangat membantu sekali dalam mengatasi kejadian-kejadian khususnya kebakaran hutan.
Dengan adanya Sipongi, kami semakin efektif dan efisien untuk membuktikan terjadinya kebakaran hutan dan lahan.
Udaranya nyaman, tenang, pemerintah sudah tegas menindak pelaku kebakaran hutan. Kami pun menjadi senang.
Langkah-langkah yang diambil oleh pihak kerajaan Indonesia dalam menangani jerubu ini akhirnya dapat memberi satu perubahan yang agak ketara.
2015 there were forest fires in Indonesia and the haze was very terrible in Singapore. And now the air is all better and we are all having a better life. Thanks to the Indonesian government for all this.
Sipongi is here to save Indonesia's forests, the lungs of the earth and the future of the world.
Okay, that's all about Sipongi Indonesia, and we already heard not only the case for Indonesia, but also from Thailand, Australia. And before we continue with the questions, I'd like to share one of the comments on YouTube channel. So not only through the Zoom meeting or the broadcasting in Mangala Wanabakti building, but also we also received some feedbacks from YouTube. Excuse me. So here's from Dr. Peratai Tantipa. He said that we cannot depend on hotspot information by satellites only, as the time gaps are too long. The traditional detection method and the new IoT, Internet of Things, local cameras and ecosystem is needed to support. So still the strong fire prevention is the key points of it. So including that the fire watch tower, all kinds of land patrols and hotline information from the public. Now, do we have any other questions that we can start our discussion? Thank you, Dr. Feratai Tanpipat, for your comment and thoughts. The first question. Okay, the first question from Cahya, from Ministry of Environment of Forestry Indonesia. Why the amount of hotspot in Sipongi and Lapan are sometimes different, and what can we do to, and what can they do for daily report? That's what I believe what he asked about. Ms. Eva, would you like to respond to this question, please?
Okay, thank you. I will try to answer the questions. There is the difference in data, of course, between Sipongi and Lapan. It used to Lapan, but it's currently Brin, right, Ibu Yeni? It could be because Sipongi acquired data from two ground stations, from NASA and Lapan. Why are we doing this? Because we try to anticipating or overcome the troubleshooting of data receptions. For example, for the last few months, we use data from NASA due to system troubleshooting in the Lapan system or Brin. Brin right now, due to system migration from the old Lapan station to the new Brin data center. We already have a coordination with Lapan personnel, and we have the answer that there's a troubleshooting and the system is currently not stable enough. So we managed to use the data from the NASA. In addition, the Lapan system also has a cluster and pixel systems. But in Sipongi, we display data of the type pixel. And for information, the difference of NASA and Lapan, in Lapan already manage the hotspot persistent. They manage the hotspot in maybe a volcano or maybe in a mining area. They did not show the hotspot, but from NASA they still show the hotspot as it is. So for the use of the data, I highly recommend it using the official data from the data custodian, which is MOF, or the Ministry of Environment and Forestry. Is it according to the head of Information Geospatial Agency Regulation, or BAG, number 88, I think, 88 of 2021, and of course the President Regulation number 23 of 2021. I think that's the question, the answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Eva. So I think the key point is here, this for public needs one comment, I think, just like in AJ also mentioned one comment for not only for the decision, but also the source of the data sets. But I believe Indonesia now is still working on the single one map data policy, right? So hopefully later on we will reduce the confusion by the public. The second question is now we have Mr. Francinaga to Mr. Sigit Pramono. What kind of features to support main function of Sihutla? And how about its design can be maintained for a long time when the weather or climate has changed? Mr. Sigit, please.
Okay, thank you for your question. For your information, Sihutla has been protected with a waterproof box and the panel, or we can say it is a double protection. All the sensors have been made modularly and assembly in Indonesia. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can we move to the next question, please? From Mr. Sityo Budi to Dr. Matthew Adams. Will you develop your technology further, and what kind of enhancement will you add further? And the second question, what is your vision related to technology development in land and forest fires?
Thank you for that question, Setyo or Budi. Got a couple things. We're actually moving towards much more towards 3D and 4D. So we're looking at redeveloping our software stack to enable basically virtualization or presentation of fires in 3 dimensions and moving it through time to assist with fire training. We're working very closely with our forest department to look at utilizing some of the higher resolution satellite data to detect and map fires that are very cool. We try and do our prescribed burning. We do a lot of prescribed burning. And we try to do it at the cool time of the year, but it's very difficult to work out what the impact of that burn is. So we're spending a lot of time working with our forest department on that, with the aim that we can apply that across the country using Sentinel-2, which comes over every 5 days in our part of the country.
Okay, I think you've got all the questions answered, right? Thank you, Dr. Adams. The next question, please. From Mr. Aditya Yoga to Dr. Neon. What data source? Yeah, what data source is used by smoke watchers? And is there any experience with fake hotspot, maybe that's like false hotspot probably, that appear because the water surface, housing, or etc. And how you addressed it?
Yes, thanks for the question. The first, we use the WEIR system from NASA website. I mean, for looking for the fire hotspot. And absolutely, we have the false alarm or fake hotspot. But now we try to work with a lot of organized from the government to check and try to count truth also. So we need the volunteer and the community to work together. If the hotspot show on your mobile phone, and the first group to go to the fire hotspot is a local people. If it's not the hotspot, is not the fire or is the false alarm, the report from the local people can report the mobile phone to the government also. Yes, is okay or not? Maybe Kun AJ can help me for more detail.
Yeah, that's clear. That's clear. What Dr. Neon means is the two-way communication now. We have used a lot of ground manpower, the fire control rangers to, when they respond to the fire hotspot detected from the satellite, when they go there, if there is a fake observation, they will record that, and then it becomes the record, the frequent fake hotspots, something like that. Also, the two-way communication means the people in the area, they can also help recheck the fire hotspot as well. Thank you.
I also have this is a question that's always raised by us, the public. How accurate the hotspot in your area, in your region? Is it really more like omission, more fires that could not detect it, or the hotspot itself has more false alarm? Can you say something about it a little bit? Maybe AJ?
Yes. For the, if we have to say in the percentage, I think false alarm comes every now and then, around 20 to 30%. Okay, especially the near the border between the countries. But the thing, the fantastic thing is that Dr. Leon and I, we had experience working with the fire control unit. They have kind of wisdom knowledge. When we tell them here is the fire hotspot from the satellite, we lay down the map, they can, spontaneously say those are fake because they have been there, many times, and they are fake, something like that. Those are very wisdom knowledge, and it works all the time.
Okay, cool. And I was wondering, probably after got the feedback from the community, then it's also a great resources for you guys to probably to review what should be added in the apps. Well, anyway, I just conclude in just my thought, but let's move to the next question. Thank you, AJ and
thank you.
Leon. From Dr. Eva Ahmad to Mr. Ike Kapoor. AJ.
Wow.
Right away. So what is an opinion of what satellite sensor that are most effective to use to obtain the data information?
That's a great question.
Go
yes,
ahead.
in my field, we try to avoid, saying what is best. Okay, I think I will follow that custom. We would say it depends on your application and your area. At the moment, I think we are in the era of, everybody can use the satellite image, and so many sensors available in the field. Sentinel, Landsat, I mean, many of them, they can give you the temperature detection, right? I think it is a question of how you want to use it, and how you can verify it. I think that's the key to really make it most effective to your need. That's my thought.
Yeah, thanks AJ. Let's move on to the next question. Oh yeah, I also can see that through the chat box. Dr. Adams, Matthew Adams also answered some questions and comment. Thank you so much for doing that for us.
Thank you, Adams.
Do we have any? Yeah, next question. See, we have, I think, a bunch of questions, and I don't know how the organizers select the best one. We will select the top 5. Okay, I think we've got this already. Okay, so next question from Mr. Nur Solihin to Miss Eva. Okay, this is Bahasa.
Okay, thank you.
You have to, yeah, what is the question? The question is how public can access the Sipongi,
yes,
while also participate in the forest and land fires suppression and then including how they report it, right? Because they have their limited access to the internet and the field. Okay. Yes, Eva, please go ahead.
Yes, definitely. It's internet-based web. Of course, we need the internet connection, but as I said before, that we have the cooperation with the Ministry of Communication. We developed this SMS Blast Sipongi, but it's maybe for prevention and for the early warning. For example, in the early of the dry season, we can send the message that don't burn your garden or something like that, and beware of the dry season. Or in the mid of the burn season area, we have sent the early warning for evacuation for the people in I think in South Sumatra, for example, like that. But for the internet connection, of course, we need the connection, and the public can call us in our customer service. We have the number in the Sipongi web. You just simply can call and ask the person behind the Sipongi, or it's POSCO, fire monitoring post, and then you can simply chat us in our Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube or Twitter. I think it's social media is a boom right now, and I think most of location is connected with internet, but for the location that we don't have an internet, I'm sorry, it's only an SMS blast.
But even SMS blast, it doesn't mean that the people cannot participate.
Yes,
right. So yeah,
they can send us the SMS. Right. We keep the SMS because not everyone have the internet connection.
Right. So to make sure that everyone can participate. Great job. The next question to Mr. Sigit Pramono from I Gusti Ketut Suwarta. Every year there are a forest fire in Taman Nasional Gunung Rinjani with topographic conditions. It is very difficult to extinguish. What kind of technology, the best technology for early detection of fires, and how they handle it? Mr. Sigit?
Okay, thanks. Thank you for the question. With LoRa network, there's one gateway, and device can cover several sensors for 100 kilometers. So it can cover the topographic wider. So Sihutla can be located higher place and easy to extinguish. If we talk about the energy, source, Sihutla has developed with a solar panel. Thank you.
So Mr. Sigit believe that even have the problem with topographic conditions, these Sihutla apps can be dealing with this kind of situations. The next question to Dr. Neon from Purnama Eru. Do you see any possible cooperation between you to develop technology related to land and forest fires? This is also to all those speakers. So first, go to Dr. Neon. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I hope so. And we're looking for the partner also. Can you hear me? I think we can work together because the forest fire or the haze cannot work only one country. It's a transboundary issue. We're looking for the collaboration for everyone. Yes.
Yeah, well, I can see that there's also can be transferable, right? The apps and the idea behind that. From Dr. Neon say that it's possible. What about Dr. Matthew? What do you think about this question? Do you want to say something about this?
Absolutely. I'd expect, given that our Prime Minister is up in Indonesia now, that and interested in climate change and forest fires are related to climate change, that there will be some engagement between Australia and the Southeast Asian countries on this type of technology.
Right. And I know that Dr. Adams is not new guy in Indonesia related to fire. So he has been, working in cooperate with the Indonesian government. So yeah, it's really 100% possible to do so. I think we've got from Thailand. And what about from Indonesia? Miss Eva, do you want to say something about how, the technology, not only, Indonesia between Indonesian, but also Indonesia with Thailand or in Australia? What do you say about this?
Of course, I think we can work together with various parties, as we saw before, where many things that can be complemented with each other with various systems. As we see that many system has its benefit, has their system. Maybe we can add some features that the other system didn't have. So I think it's open. It's still open. It's we can cooperate with each other as long as there is an MOU, legal standing, and others. Of course, because it's between the country. Of course, from us, we are a government, so it needs the legal standing which each government. So I think it's possible as long as it have a benefit for each other.
Right. But the next question probably, what are the challenges? What are the challenges? AJ, probably you want to say something about this? I believe you will also say that, it is possible to, to cooperate with others. Is there any challenges on it?
On the use of application, right?
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. I think what we started to seeing now is at the end of the day, I'm speaking of the burn check application in particular. At the end of the day, when you have requests, a lot of requests, and then it must go to the authority, which is the the provincial governor. It's the human decision, and then what we have seen as a challenge at the moment is that sometimes the provincial governor has, what should I say? He assigned some powers to the, let's say, district governors. Okay, so this is a good way actually to really help him manage, because if you get like 100 requests per day, one man alone cannot accomplish all of them. So he assigned his power to the district leaders. And then here comes the challenge. Question arises from those district leaders is that if I approve some activities, right, and if it goes out of hand, like the burning might occur in the forest area where it is another jurisdiction, it's another authority, is out of his hand, it belongs to another department. Will I go to jail? Something like that. It came to our experience. So at the end of the day, still we need to really find a systematic approach for human beings. The app will work according to what we write it to work, but the system of the authorities, it needs to work together. It needs to have a clear communication messages yeah, that's the challenge.
Right, right. It's not only about how we produce innovation, but also how we touch the basic needs of the community, and also how to link with the policy mechanism. So thank you,
Thank you.
AJ. Do we have any? Another question? Okay. So from Imam Santoso to AJ, do you want to talk about this now? How to
What's that?
how the burn check app and smartwatch connect each other to monitor the fires in Thailand?
Wow. Okay, that's a great question. Yes, we have not thought about that yet. They were spinning off project. First project is the smoke watch. Okay, and then we have another side project as the burn check, started from scratch, and then it just became in the interest of the Thai government. So they brought it up to the operational level. So at the moment, right now, they are not connected, okay, but they have served a similar purpose on the smoke watch will help monitor the fire hotspot, and it will serve the fire control unit, especially to really respond to the fire in a timely manner, right? And while the burn check, it focuses on the agricultural fire management. But in the future, that's a great question, great comment. We will take it. Thank you. We will. I think we should make it a suite of applications, right? Like, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, AJ. Do we have another question? Otherwise, I have a question actually for all of you. Do you have any, another, because the challenge is already answered by AJ, but I haven't heard from Dr. Adams. What are the challenges you face with, all of the, you integrating all the data set with the spatial, and then you come up with the, by the end of all of the data set integrating and come up with the information, and only on your fingertips you can see that, and not only limited access but also publicly available. So what are the challenges you face? And yeah, because you already mentioned the future directions, but what are the challenges
in terms of Southeast Asia? Part of it's actually secure. There's part of it is ensuring that we get the satellite data that we require. So there is another fire sensor on Sentinel-3 that we actually haven't done a whole lot with, but it's ensuring that you got access to sensors, and we're spending the time to get the fire detection algorithms working appropriately in Southeast Asia. What the Americans or the Europeans produce generally works quite well for where they actually design them for. They tend to work less well in other places. Landgate has historically modified the fire hotspot detection algorithms out of NOAA to take into account that we've got a continent that doesn't have a lot of trees on it for most of it. So we modify thresholds to help ensure that we get a good balance of areas of emission and commission. And it might be useful for in Southeast Asia to have that conversation, particularly with the United Nations, who because all of these types of things are now starting to inform the carbon account. So how much greenhouse gases are we all emitting?
Right. Since we are talking about the Asia Pacific region, probably we can learn from each other, right? We understand that the fire regime is different between the countries, between the regions. Even the Australia and Indonesia, we also have a different fire regime, but we're neighbors. So, we can learn from each other, and then we fine tuning at some part to get a better information delivered to.
We are always better working off together than apart.
Right. Thank you. And I think because there's no more questions, we still have some time for that. What else? is there anyone who can add like the challenges for you by creating the apps and establish the apps? Would you want to tell us a little bit story about it? We still have plenty time. Probably Eva, Miss Eva, you want to say something? You know how you jungkir balik in bahasa Indonesia, so like you
Sit
you
down.
have you want to say something about it? What is it challenging?
Yes, from our experience, it's not easy to manage the systems. We need so much effort to manage the systems, and it really needs the cooperation between team and then cooperation within many institutions, because we cannot run by ourselves, because our data is related to each other with other agency, and our data is supporting by field personnel and also with the institution that have the capacity in some area, such as LandGate in the past provide us some, what you call it, they support us in the beginning, in the early time. So from, I think it's many cooperation can be we can cooperate with each other, and we don't forget the field personnel. They are the people who take the egg in the field. They respond our monitoring system. They really working hard to suppress the fire, and of course without them we are nothing. Whether the system is complete is the nicest or maybe the highest technology, we cannot do anything without the field personnel. So I think beside the equip the monitoring system, we can also increase the human resource of the field personnel and increase their skills to develop the prevention system, or maybe to suppression, maybe to talk with the people, or maybe create some system that relevant to their location. I think that will be nice.
Thanks for your very inspiring comments and thought for us. And there's no more question from the audience. So let me conclude our discussion session for now. I can say that all the speakers, it's amazing speakers, not only from Indonesia, we also can see that in Thailand and also in Australia. The technology has recently advanced, transforming an outdated method to a more thorough and sufficient method. Technology and innovation enable us to shift from manual to automatic, monitoring to predicting, simple to professional, high cost to low cost, less efficient to high efficient, close to open public access, from work alone to collaboration, and engage with science to convince that this new technology acceptable to still protect our Earth. And I believe that previously, I believe you might find that this technology, which is limited, is less accurate. But then we try to do our best to make it more accurate. And by these steps, we promote our fire management in every location. And I believe all the innovation and technology that is already presented during this webinar is also transferable. And we open with collaboration and cooperation. So by then, I conclude our discussion. Thank you so much for all speakers, for amazing speakers. Can I give a big applause for all of them? Thank you so much. And then, it's not only you. I have to share the greatest news to all participants. We promise that we have 5 gift, a prize participants. And here's the winner. Okay, so congratulations. Ooh, okay. And there's a phone number there. The organizer will contact you. Congratulations to all of you. And we also have a winner for the poster competition. Ding, 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 ding. Here they are. Okay, congratulations to all of the participants. Congratulations for the winners. And by then, again, I would like to thank all the amazing speakers and also all amazing participants. And I hope you gain something, you learn something, get something new through this webinar series. By then, I conclude and see you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for all.
Hey, yo.